Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Scholl. I'm the lead learner at the SCEA Center for Educator, Wellness, and Learning. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I'm so excited about tonight. I think you're going to have a great time. Before we get started, just want to remind everybody you can find all of our website, all of our information on the Cool website at cool.us, at CEWL.us. And you look at the bottom, we'd love to have you as a part of our movement at the SCEA. You can join the SCEA at jointhescea.org or text the word join to 48744. You can also, if you're not ready to join, but you just like to connect with us and learn more about us, just go to the scea.org/connect. And you may have seen I had the Lisa Ellis banner up there. We're so proud to be endorsing Lisa Ellis for South Carolina Superintendent of Education. We want to remind everybody to make sure you get registered to vote. You can learn more about voting in this year's election, November 8th, at the scea.org/votes. We encourage everybody, get your husbands, your wives, your parents, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, everybody who's eligible to vote, bring them out to the polls and vote for Lisa Ellis and vote for pro-education candidates like Joe Cunningham. So tonight we have such an amazing guest. His name is Jed Derryberry. I want to say Derry. Jed Derryberry. Jed is he's an artist. He's a writer. He began his education career in 2001 during his 13-year early childhood classroom tenure. He received numerous awards. He was the GQ magazine Male Leader of the Year. He met President Obama as the South Carolina honoree of the Presidential Award for Excellence in Math and Science Teaching. He was a top 5 finalist for South Carolina Teacher of the Year. He was also the first ever Milken Fellow for the state of South Carolina. Since leaving the second grade classroom in 2015, he's been leading professional development across the country, as well as training the next generation of educators through his work in teaching in higher ed, teaching children's lit, creativity and play for early childhood, and fine arts in the elementary classroom. In August 2019, he started his own education consulting business. You can learn more about that at mrderryberry.com. He's the director of creativity and innovation. He's a published author. He's published a book, The Playful Classroom, The Power of Play for All Ages. That was co-written with Dr. Julie P. Jones in June of 2020. And he had a second book called The Courageous Classroom, and that was released in July of 2021. And his third book is about to be released, I think, next month, called The Playful Life, The Power of Play in Our Everyday. His mission is to equip, encourage, empower the teaching profession using creativity, laughter, and hands-on fun. So without further ado, let's bring in Jed. He's also a friend of mine. And Jed, it's always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm thankful to be here. Thankful the SCA is hosting these events. I've seen a couple of the other ones over the last few months, and I just kudos to you for doing that, and for also kudos for the endorsement of Lisa Ellis. Anybody who's not endorsing Lisa Ellis yet, what are you waiting on? Get on the train. Let's go. Lisa is the only qualified candidate for state superintendent of education, and I hope that everybody's telling everybody to get on board and let's get Lisa elected. So
100%. You know,
yeah.
you have such a gift. I've seen you speak multiple times, present multiple times. You have such a gift with words, and what I love about what you bring is this authentic self. Like, you can tell you're not putting on anything. You're just being your authentic self, saying whatever comes to your mind, saying things that are inspirational, meaningful, and real, and also very captivating. I think you're able to go into a room full of people and immediately capture their attention. And the other thing that you do really well is you make people immediately kind of put their guard down and feel comfortable around you. And I think that's a gift. It's not a gift that I have, and it's something I really admire a lot about you.
Man, I really appreciate that compliment, and that means the world to me, because I do want people to feel welcome around me, and I think that's coming from years and years of me not being welcome in certain spaces.
Yeah.
And I just, if you come to my house, if you come to my workshops, if I come to your school and do a PD, whatever, I hope that people feel very welcome around me. Now, look, I'm human like the rest of us. I cuss and get mad behind the scenes sometimes, sometimes I used to ask, I'm authentic, but sometimes that gets me in trouble, Todd.
Yeah.
But
But, you know,
hey, because here's the thing. I mean, I will say, anybody who knows me knows that I am a part of the LGBTQ community, and for 35 years of my life, I was not open and honest about that.
yeah.
I'm making up for lost time with some authenticity, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that very much. And
Yeah. And that takes a lot of courage. I've been so proud to be part of an association that is, advocating for LGBTQ educators and students, and the NEA, the SCEAs, putting that our values out there and making sure that those people feel supported and safe. There's just not enough of that, not enough advocacy done.
Yes, I am very appreciative of that, and it is noted in our community of the support that we're feeling from y'all. So thank you for that very much. Hey, thank you for shouting out my books too.
Yeah.
I got them right here. If anybody wants to look
Yes.
at them, here they are. This was book 1, book 2. Book 3 is coming out in just about another month. Should be out about the end of October. If anybody wants to order those, you can go to mrdearberry.com and get some autographed copies. Hey, I'm looking at the chat. I see Sydney is watching. Hey, Sydney. Yeah, speaking of endorsing people, go vote for Sydney for school board. Send her some money. She needs it, because that's how you get your signs out there, get your stickers, and yeah, Charleston County.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Sydney.
Yeah. So important that we get folks who have been educators or who are educators, getting them involved in these types of races. So thanks for shouting her out.
She said, yes, please. Yes.
Yeah. Good luck, Sydney. All right. So Jed, what are we talking about tonight? What are you going to be?
So the title of tonight's little webinar is called Doodle with Dairyberry. It's going to be very chill, very relaxed, because it's, coming on 10 after 7.
Yeah.
And Todd, you are the mindfulness guru. So, I don't want to bring any stress and any heavy thinking. Not at this time of the night. It doesn't need to get too heavy.
Right.
I want to tell you, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to bed with my book. So it won't even be dark. I'll be in the bed. So I don't want to have a lot of heavy stress here. But one of the things that I have found, Todd, that helps me to be more mindful and be more present and focused is the power of the doodle. And I say doodle, I'm talking about doodling with a pen and piece of paper, simple drawings that don't have to be perfect. Let me say that again, that don't have to be perfect. And letting your mind get lost in the flow of the doodle. We talk about in the playful classroom, Julie and I talk about the research of a scientist, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who coined the term flow. And I know as a mindfulness teacher, you talk about that a lot. Getting lost in the flow is that moment of time where you are so engrossed in what you're doing that time seems to quickly pass. Well, as well as I do, 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour is a set measurement of time. It doesn't go any faster. But our brains, we get so lost in the work, and it seems to speed up. And that's what happens when you doodle. And I love the word doodle instead of draw, because a lot of people say, oh, I can't draw, and they might be right. They can't draw, because they're comparing their little squiggle to, the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa came with years and years of practice and crafting the art. But I've never met anybody, Todd, that says I can't doodle.
Right.
Have you ever met anybody that says I can't doodle?
No.
Like, I don't know anybody. So we're going to doodle tonight. And if you have a moment to step away from your computer or wherever you're watching, I would love for you to get a piece of paper. It can be just a printer piece of paper. I've got this 12 by 12 piece of paper that I'm going to use tonight.
Okay.
You could grab a journal. This is my journal here. And I'm going to show you some of this in a little bit, but it's just a two-fold journal like that. Whatever you want. That's the thing. No stress here. And then get your favorite writing stick. I say writing stick because that's paying homage to my 9th grade geography teacher, Coach Fisher. Jim Fisher, anytime that we would do something that we needed, actually every day when we walked into class, he would be like, all right, get out your writing stick. And, of course, he was talking about a pencil, but I'm going to talk about some of my writing sticks that I like to use. But later in the hour together. But what I want you to do is I just want you to pick up your pen, and I'm going to turn my computer here down where you can see. And right in the center of your page, we're going to doodle a teacup. Yeah, we're going to doodle a teacup. And I want you just to doodle, just like I do. I'm going to guide you through this, okay? You're going to draw a little skinny oval sideways, right about the middle of your paper. And then you're going to make a letter U underneath that oval. Then you're going to put 2 backward C's on the side of it. Oh, you can see it now, can't you? You can see it now. And then you're going to put a little rectangle at the bottom so that your teacup has somewhere to sit. Y'all got the teacup? I hope so. And on the center of the teacup, you're going to write the words Doodle with Dairyberry. And whether you realize it or not, you just started one of the most powerful ways to doodle, and that's called sketchnoting. Sketchnoting is literally when you take pictures and words and put them together to take notes and capture information that's being shared. So tonight, as we're doodling, I'm also going to be sharing with you the power of the doodle and how my practice over the last, I don't know, let's see, I got my journals here. Let's look. This is how long I've been journaling with doodles. Let's see, this started in January of 2017, and it's through March 22. I've been doodling my whole life, but these are all my journals where I've been serious about my doodling. So yeah, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through. Have y'all heard the phrase spilling the tea? Spilling the tea. You mean like you're going to gossip, right? You're going to learn some information that's valuable. Right. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to spill the tea, if you will, spill the tea about doodling. So that's why we said we drew a little teacup. Well, excuse me, we doodled a teacup, doodle with Dairyberry. Okay, so you put the title in here. What we're going to do by the end of this time together, this is going to be full, and it's going to be a sketch note of our time together, but it's also going to show you the process of how to become a better doodler. Before we do that, though, I want to share my screen and show you a couple of things here. See, share screen. All right, can you see my screen? I don't know if you can or not. I'm hoping you can. But yeah, StreamYard is sharing your screen. Yes. All right, so when you doodle is a form of non-linguistic representation. Non-linguistic means that you're using pictures instead of words, not words. Not linguistic, not words, right? Now you can use some words, but most of the words or most of the communication is with pictures or movement, or look at all these different things. A diagram, mostly picture, a graphic organizer, 3D models, role play, yeah, a little sweeping going on there. Mental images, the way that you put imagery in your head. Movement, this guy is twirling here. Music is also a way to communicate. It can communicate happiness, sadness, fear, right? All that's non-linguistic representation, communication without words. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on communicating with pictures, and we're going to communicate different things tonight as we are doodling, okay? All of this over here, I've said most of this. Non-linguistic representation is a fancy way to say communication without words. As you can see, it comes in many forms. Doodling helps you stay focused. How many of you have ever been in a class that has been really, really boring and you just started doodling on your paper, but it helped you to focus? One of the things that I do when I'm on the phone, sometimes if I'm on a call, I doodle just to keep me engaged and thinking. So that's why I want to teach you about the power of the doodle in the sketch note, because I want you to learn how to do this for yourself when you're in a workshop, in a PD session, but I also want you to help your students to know how to do this. So let me stop sharing my screen here, and we are going to get back over here. There I am. And we're going to get back to spilling the tea from our teacup. All right. The first thing you need to know when you are learning to doodle is that you need to learn to practice. Oh, I lost my place there. Not practice things. I'm getting ahead of myself. You need, oh, hold on. Oh, my journal just fell. Here we go. Here we go. You need to try. That's the first T. Spilling the tea. Here's the steam that's coming out. Sorry about that, y'all. I want you to put some steam coming out of your teacup. And I want you to write the word try. That's where we've got to start tonight. We've got to start with being willing to try. You've already started here with your Doodle with Dairyberry mug. All right, it's got some steam coming out of there. And we got the word try here. Now what we need to do, let's doodle a picture frame around the word try. When you're making a sketch note, the picture frame around a word, that's called a container. So watch what I'm going to do here to doodle that picture frame. I'm just going to doodle a rectangle. Then I'm going to doodle a rectangle around the rectangle. See? Okay. And then if I want to make it fancy, I'm going to put some little lines here to make it like a, like it's got corners. And what if we wanted to hang it on the wall? Put a nail and then just make a triangle there. And we got the word try. While we're talking about the word try, I would love for you to try to draw a monster. Try to draw a monster, any kind of monster. Just go, doodle a monster. If I said doodle a monster, what would he look like? I'm going to doodle mine. Mine looks like this. And he's got big old eyes up here. And he's looking up. He's got a little mouth. And he's reaching up. Got little hands. Got little feet. And I drew, oh, but you know what? Let's give him a nose too. What does your monster look like? It can look like anything. There's no wrong way to doodle a monster. Let's doodle another one. Doodle this one different. Just doodle another one. Come on. Don't be afraid. You can't mess it up. This one's got a little elbow action. Gonna have rectangular hands. He's probably mad about that. I don't know. Let's see. This one, let's have some little curlies going over here too. All right, let's try to draw another one. Here, let's draw another one here. This one. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just doodle those monsters. What you're doing right now is you are building up your courage, your willingness to try and draw these little monsters. There's no wrong way to do this. You know what? Just today, I'm going to show you something. Just today, when I was walking through the neighborhood, I go for a walk every morning because it helps me to think about doodling. And I saw these little creatures spray painted on the ground. Here, look at this one. Do you see this little critter? Look at that one. Yep. These are like little monsters. I think they're spray paint from where the sewer line is. They're doing some work in the neighborhood. And that's what I think it is. But when I was walking, they looked like little monsters. So now just try to draw another one. You're going to doodle little monsters all across. Let's see here. This one's going to go. He's going to be a blob looking. There's no wrong way to do this, remember? No wrong way. He is just like bleh. He's kind of bleh. Have you ever been kind of bleh? I've been kind of bleh. All right, you're doodling your best monster. Let's do one more. That'll be 5, and we'll just do our best here. Okay, this one is going to be like, I don't know. This reminds me of Captain Caveman. Look at those big old eyes. There goes the Captain Caveman. No more Captain Caveman. Okay. I tried to draw monsters. That's what I did. Okay. Just doodle some monsters there. When you are learning to doodle, the most important part is that you be willing to try. And that's what I ask that you do tonight, that you be willing to try. All right. The next thing, the next part of the T with Dairyberry, I'm going to draw some more steam out of there. Hopefully, you'll get some steam, is the word time. You've got to devote some time to doodling. For me, I doodle every single day, and I haven't I haven't got today's doodling, but I want to show you something in my journal where I've been doing some daily practice with a lady who's doing. Her name's Renee on Instagram. McCrafty Art is her name, and she's got a daily doodle challenge. And that day 1 was a candle, day 2 was an apple, day 3 was draw some leaves. Yep. Day 4 was the wind. Day 5 was, let's see. Oh, a squirrel. Look at that. Check out the squirrel. I love it. Let's see. How about this one? Plaid. and then school. Those were the doodles so far. I think today is sunset. So sometime before I go to sleep, I'll have a sunset right there. But daily practice is what helps you get to be a better doodler. But as Todd will tell you, daily meditation, daily mindfulness, daily doodles will help you clear your mind. It helps you focus, helps you, it actually strengthens your brain, especially when you're doing something sketch note, because you're connecting the words and the pictures. You're connecting the words and the pictures. And when you connect words and pictures together, guess what? You're crossing that midsection of your brain. You're crossing the right side and the left side. Right side is where all the art and the creativity is. The left side is where all the words are. And then when you put them together in a sketch note, you're using your whole brain. And at the same time that you're using your whole brain, it's releasing the stress. It's making you feel better. All right. Let's go back to that word time. Okay. Remember we put this word try in a container. Let's put the word time in a container. Let's put that word time in how about a clock? I'm going to draw 2 circles to make that clock. You can't mess this up, y'all. Okay. And this is going to be one of those old school clocks with 2 little bells on the top. So I'm putting 2 little rectangles. You notice how I'm saying little rectangles and little half circles? When I doodle, I look at the different shapes that I see. Little rectangle, circle, and a circle. All right. It is almost 7:30, but we're going to pretend it's 8 o'clock. So that's the 12, and then that's about where that's maybe about 7. I don't know. All right, here we go. 12, and we put 3, and then put 6, and then 9, and we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, and then we do the little clock. What are some other things that represent time that we could doodle? Okay, I think of an hourglass. Watch how you draw an hourglass. Or doodle. You doodle an hourglass. There we go. Make a skinny rectangle going sideways, and a little bit below it, you make another skinny rectangle going sideways, and then you put your curved pieces in. Yeah, look at that. And then you just put some sand. You're seeing. That's all that is. Okay. What else could we doodle that would represent time? The sun. But you know what? Let's be creative in the way we doodle the sun. Most people would just draw a circle, but I'm going to do this spiral here. And then I'm just going to put some triangles around it, making my sun. Yeah, absolutely. The sun has to do with time here. All right. What about a calendar? Calendars are fun to doodle. Square. Today is the 7th. And then or is it the 8th? It's the 8th, isn't it? Is it the 8th? I don't know. I don't even know what day it is. It's the 8th. We'll put an 8 on there. And then you put these little backwards C's, so it looks like the little spirals that are at the top of those. And then you put the little, and then made a little calendar. Calendar has something to do with what else? Anything in the comments? Let's see. Peter, Sydney. What else do you think that we could put for? Oh, what about a watch? Okay, a watch would be a circle and a rectangle with a curved end, and another rectangle with a curved end. And then put your little ticks around here. You don't have to be exact with those. And then you put your little clasp. Yeah, it's a watch, right? If you want to, put some little flourish there, a little bit of flourish. All right. As we were doodling that, we were connecting all of these different images to the word time. That is important to note because what you're doing there is building your visual vocabulary that is connected to the word time. So when someone in the future says the word time and you're in a workshop, you can know, oh, I can draw all of these things. I can doodle all of these things that would show what time looks like visually. You're building your visual vocabulary. And another way that you are going to build your visual vocabulary leads to the next T, and that's the word things. Yeah. I want you to write the word things. Okay? Write the word things. Just like mine. Write the word things. We need a container for the word things. And I think that the word things, oh, you know what? This is a perfect one to show you my favorite container. All right. You're going to doodle a backward C and a forward C, a forward C on one side, a backward C on the other. And then you're going to put little humps that look like fingers. Yep, that's because there are going to be fingers. And then you're going to draw the top half of a rectangle connecting the two hands that you just drew. And then the bottom half of the rectangle of the things that you just drew. And then you're going to put an L and a backwards L. And then you're going to put a circle up top and put some hair on it, whatever kind of hair you want. And then you're going to put two eyes and a mouth. And then look, I love that. You you doodled a little person holding the sign. Okay. When we first started, y'all might not have thought that you could do this, but look at that. You're already doing it. All right. Now, what do I mean by things? Okay. One of my favorite methods or practices that I do when I am lost in my doodle is I literally will Google a subject and put the word doodles after it. For example, what if I wanted to doodle cows, like a bunch of cows, or pigs? Let's look at pigs, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you again, and I'm going to show you literally what I do when I am practicing and getting to be better with my doodles. I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to type in the word pig doodles. Be careful, right? You never know if they're going to show a pig pooping out there. I don't know. But look at all these pigs. And I always like the images because I don't care what it is. I always find things that I can practice. Like, look right here. We can all doodle that pig. All right. We're going to doodle this one right here. Focus on this one right here. Notice that the first thing you draw is that big circle. So I'm going to not show you how mine looks until after I'm done with it. You're concentrating on that one because you're drawing the same thing I am. We're trying things. Okay. Look at this. This is an oval, sideways oval. And then in that sideways oval, we have two vertical ovals. Okay. And then we got two black dots for the eyes. Love it. And then we got half ovals for the ears. And then we got little skinny ovals for the feet. And you know what this doesn't have, but I want it to have one? It needs a little floop right here for the tail, a little squiggle. All right, you ready to see mine? You ready to see? Here we go. Stop sharing the screen. Here we go. There it is. How'd I do? All right. Now that you see my process, I love to do this. I love to just Google different things. Like here I Googled burgers and I doodled a whole page of burgers. Then I doodled kids screaming. See my kids screaming? This was a while back. And then I just doodle all those things. Here I doodled monsters. Yeah, kind of like we did earlier. Let me see. I think I got one in here that's, oh yeah, this is one of my favorite. I doodled play. You know, I wrote that book about play, so I wanted to build my visual vocabulary about things that are playful. My favorite thing is that that robot right there. I love that robot. I'm pretty obsessed with that little bee. And this little kid right here, he's fun. Yeah, I Googled play and I just did a whole sheet of that thing. Okay. Anything that you doodle, anything that you want to doodle, if it's a holiday doodle, if it's Golden Girl doodles, if it's crayon doodles, office supply doodle, whatever, chair doodle, anything you want to doodle, if you Google that plus the word doodle, whole page full of them. So now that we're in the mindset of practicing things, why don't you draw your own pig? See if you can draw your own kind of pig, not the one that we saw on the screen. Just draw your own kind of pig. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it and then see if you can do it. No, you know what? Just do your own. Let's just do your own. Draw your own little pig. Just get lost in it for a minute. Doodling that pig. I don't even know, y'all. You can't mess it up. I'm getting lost in mine here. He's cute little pig. And got a little belly button. He's got some hooves. You just have to practice the things, right? And Googling the things will get your ideas flowing. There's my other little pig. Where is he? Oh, right here. Yeah. So first of all, you got to be willing to try. You got to spend some time in the middle of it. You got to go after things. Build that visual vocabulary. What's the next T? The next T. No, the next T is probably my favorite one. You got to have the right tools. I'm going to go back to share my screen here in just a minute. But you know what? When I see the word tools and I think about containers, let's put that in a toolbox. Let's make a container of a toolbox. You're going to draw a rectangle. And then this is a little tricky. You're going to draw a little slanted rectangle on the top. And then another rectangle on top of that. So it looks like it's open. Yeah, it looks like it's open. And you can put a little toolbox back there. Yeah, whatever. All right. However you want to make it. So let me talk to you about tools. Tools is important. My grandma Maudie, she's one of my favorite people. She passed away in 2005, but she was a lady full of wisdom. And she used to tell me, you can't screw with a hammer. And she's right. You got to have a screwdriver. You cannot screw with a hammer. You can try all day. The little hooks on there, they just won't do it. They just will not do it. You can try to hammer the screw in. It's not going to work, right? So your tools when you're doodling are very, very important. Tools are up to you, what makes you happy, what you feel is useful. But I want to show you some of the tools that I use. And I'm going to go back to share my screen here so that you can see some pictures of what I'm talking about. Let's jump down here to where my tools. This is the first tool that I think is important for me. Is like I want to have all of my tools in a shared all of my doodles in a collected space. And this is the journal that I use. And you say, okay, well, why are you showing us this particular journal? Well, if you notice that it says, or it's got a picture that the pages are bulleted, dotted, if you will. This is called a bullet journal. And for some reason, the dots on the page made me feel so much more free to doodle where the lines felt constricting. The dots give the page formation, so it's not completely bare, but it also allows my pen just can go freely and the lines don't get in the way. And the dots are very, very faint, so you can't really see them. So while you're sketchnoting around the word tools, why don't you doodle this journal, which would just be a rectangle. It's got some little tiny rectangles hanging out of the bottom, which are bookmarks. You see that line across the front, and then you could write the word journal on there if you want to. All right, write that on there. I'm not going to show you mine until we're finished, and you can see what I'm doodling. And then, but we're talking through. There's bullet journals are everywhere, but this is the one I love. They're very sturdy. They open nice and flat, so you can get to the creases of the page. I just really, really like this. Okay. Another thing you could do though, if you want to just be thrifty, get a cereal box, cut the front of it off, fold it in half, and staple some blank computer printer paper in there, and you've got a little doodle journal. I love to see people that do that. It's very sustainable. Everybody has a cereal box or some kind of cardboard like that, that easily pliable, moldable cardboard. Let's go to the next tool that I think is important. Your writing stick. Okay, these are the three that I use. I'm going to doodle a pen on my paper right now because that's another tool that I think is important. So I'm doodling my pen right now. My favorite pen that I have been using for the last couple of years is this signage pen here. It's called V-Sign pen. It's made by Pilot. I love these. But the line is really, really fat. Very thick line here. So then I pick these that have a thinner line. You can see the nib here is very thin on these. And this, like the little one here, it's like super thin. But usually I stick with this one. But it's important to have the right kind of pen. Next is I like to add a little bit of color to my sketch note and my doodles. And I am obsessed with these crayons right here. I'll show you mine when I stop sharing my screen. But these Easy Peel crayons by Crayola are my favorite. They're very bold and they don't smear. And I really just love them. And then I've got to have a really fun place to put my pencils and my pens and my crayons. And so I put them in this fun bag. So while you're doodling around tools, maybe you can doodle a box of crayons. Yeah, go ahead and try that box of crayons. Yep. Write the word crayons on there. And then maybe you could put a little, do a little doodle for that bag. Y'all, that bag is the best bag I've ever had. And I'm going to show it to you when I get back to this share, when I stop sharing my screen. So you'll see mine. So doodle those two things. All right, let's jump back so you can see my doodle. And I'm sorry that I'm jumping back and forth. It's just easier than trying to get one of those cameras that does all this for me. Here's my doodles. I got my pen, my journal, and then I've got my pencil pouch, and I've got my crayons. All right, let me show you. These are those they're not twistables, they're peel. And what that means, let me show you. I'll just show you right here with this yellow one because I think these are really cool. You might like these for your own personal use. If you pull this string here and then you just peel it right off, peel the paper, and then it gives you more crayon. Isn't that fun? I love it. And then if you wanted to get your sharpener and add to that or sharpen it, you can. I don't sharpen mine because I like the fat. Yeah, I just like that. I don't know. It's fun for me. But y'all, let me show you this. This is the best. You couldn't really tell this on the picture. See, so here's your pencil bag. It's just laying there, right? And then, let me get my pens out. When you are in a faculty meeting and you pull this out, everybody is going to love this. You're going to ask, where do you get it? Well, you get it on Amazon, of course, like everything else. It's called Deldy. They have all different colors, all different sizes. And I love it. I love it. I keep mine handy all the time. I just throw it in my bag. Here's the crayons, what they look like brand new. This is my backup set. Isn't that bad that I have a backup set? And I keep them in this little tin can. It's just a spaghetti and meatballs, Chef Boyardee, and I wrapped it in that colored tape. We'll have to do another session about that. All right. So far we've got, you have to be willing to try. You have to set time to doodle. You have to practice things. Okay. You got to have the right tools. This is what mine looks like so far. Beautiful little sketch note. I wish I could see yours. Y'all can't drop pictures in the comments, can you? If you're watching on Facebook, you can pictures in the comments there. So make sure when we're done, you can put them in there. All right, what's the next T? Y'all, the next T. Oh, there's Todd's. Look at it. Todd, I love it. Look at your monster. The Yankees would say, that's wicked. That's wicked good. I love that.
Yes.
Love that. Okay, so the next T, and you know, I'm just putting my steam wherever. I'm going to put my steam for this one down here because I'm going to need some room here. And this one is, you know what? You need to know some good Doodle teachers. Now, when I think of teachers, I think of superheroes. And one of my favorite ways to make a container is like a superhero call out. You know how in like the old Batman, they're like, bam, pow, zap, bang. That's what I'm doing here. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just doodling all around it. And I want to show you some people who I think have helped me just become a better doodler, just a better person, honestly. And you can write these names in some fun fonts all around that word teacher. Let me get some books here that I want to show you. One person who has really helped me, Peter Reynolds, author of The Dot. And this is a journal that he created called Start with a Dot, a journal of making your mark. And it's got all kind of places in there for you to doodle. Love this one. So maybe write Peter Reynolds' name around that teacher. He's definitely one of my teachers. Yes, he's at Adam West. I love that. Cynthia, I can't wait to be in Berkeley County. Woo! I can't wait. Yes, that pencil pouch would be a great teacher piece. And put some pins in there. They would love it. Okay. Another person who has really inspired me to be a doodler, Carrie Bockham. Look her up. You know what? After I tell you about it, I'll do this. You know what? Let me do this. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want to keep sharing my screen here because it's frustrating. Because I'm going back and forth. I'm going to share the link to this presentation that I have created for you so you can look at it. But it has all of these people's names on it, and it's got links to their website. Yes. Can I comment? I don't think I can comment. I don't know.
If you put it in the private chat, I'll copy it over into the.
Oh, okay. I see now the private chat.
Yeah, okay. I'll handle it from there.
Okay, there's the link to the slides, so they can click on that, and then all of these people's websites and stuff's linked on there. And there's going to be some that I don't even have. Well, no, I got all their stuff right here. Oh, I do. I got it all here in my office. I forget. Carrie Bockham. She has this book called My Pencil Made Me Do It. And inside, she's got all kinds of amazing tips. One of the things that she says in here, model visual thinking. And when she means by model visual thinking, this is exactly what I've done for you tonight, is show you a picture of what's happening in my brain. Like if I think of the word crayon and then I made a picture of it, you know? So she says model visual thinking and you will create visual thinkers, right? Colleen, I'm so glad. And you want to create visual thinking habits. Look, we're all, whether you know you are or not, everybody is visual in some way, because we're so inundated with constant pictures. So it makes sense for us to take our notes in this way. I'll tell you, my oldest niece had a teacher that ripped her notes out of her notebook because she was doodling on them, and she had asked her not to do that. Can you fathom? And she showed it to me, and she was literally sketch noting her notes. And that's somebody that doesn't understand neuroscience and doesn't understand good teaching, but that's another story for another day. Another person who is this lady right here, Sylvia Duckworth. She is probably the queen of sketch noting. She taught me so much. This book is amazing. It's full of ideas of how to doodle. She has an amazing website. If you click on that link, she shows you how to make banners. I learned how to make containers from her. Let me see. Here's some containers. Yep. See that one? Look, we do that one. That little person there. Yep, we did. She loves the arrow. Arrows can be fun if you're wanting to point to a certain thing to make emphasis. Another thing that she really pushes is different fonts. That's just a basic kind of font there. She's got some on her page, her website, that are a little more difficult. This lady right here, amazing. Her name is Jessie Arnold. If you look up on Instagram, Miss Arnold's Art Room, this book will change your life. Look, let me just scroll through it. The fonts, and look at these cute. Look. Oh, so cute. And this helps you build your visual vocabulary. Her Instagram is amazing. Hold on, let me get this book down here. Where did it go? I'm coming, I promise. I thought it was right there. Here we go. Have you heard this book before? Last Stop on Market Street. The author's name is Matt De La Pena, but the one that I want to show you who has influenced me as a doodler, Christian Robinson. He is an amazing artist who paints on paper. Look at him. He's got his little baby picture in the back, in the bottom there. That's him right there. He paints on paper and then cuts it out. And that's how he does his illustration. But I love it. If you look at it, it's very doodle-ish. Like it's almost like he doodles by cutting with scissors. Look at this one. See, it just is very doodle-ish. See, it's just basic shapes. Look at this right here. It's just a basic rhombus, if you will. And then he put those little straight lines on there. And then the women's head, it's just a basic circle. And I just love his artwork. So look him up. His website, he's got a lot of his processes and stuff on there. His website, I think, is called The Art of Fun. It's on that. It's on the link. It's all on the link that I shared. I hope you're writing all these names down around there so your sketch note will be complete. Let me see. Oh, and then, of course, somebody who is a real amazing personal inspiration to me, Keith Haring. This is a book about him called Drawing on Walls. Keith Haring was a member of the LGBTQ community. He died in 1990 from AIDS, and he was just an amazing contributor to our community. The shirt that I'm wearing right now is him. He's crossing his fingers. This is his artwork. Yeah, I have several of his shirts, but what I think the reason that I love that big, the thick black line is because it reminds me of his work. And you remember those doodles that I showed you on my phone, the pictures when I walked around the neighborhood? It reminded me of him, and he just really inspires me. So check it out. There's other people on that link that I want you to look up too, and add their names all to the teachers. Okay, just add their names to the teachers. Fill up your. I didn't really add them to mine because I was talking and showing you all this, but I will. Anyway, one more T, and then we're going to wrap this up. The last T. Okay, and I'm going to put it right here. The last T is the word train. And the word train is twofold right here. Of course, you have to train like your brain, right? You have to train your brain. You have to train your brain to do all this, to try, to give it time, to work things, to get the right tools, to look for the teachers. All of that takes your training your brain, right? But also that word right there, a choo-choo train. And since we've been practicing doodling all this time, I want you to turn that word train into a container that is a train. Can you do it? Can you do it? I'm turning my computer away so you can't see it, but I want you to turn that word train into a train. You've got enough practice now with doodling. You got to be willing to try. I'm willing to try here. I am turning that word train into a train doodle, and I hope you will do it too. I'm doing it right now. Let's see. There we go. Ooh. Remember, the thing about a doodle is that you don't want to overdo the detail because it's just a doodle, right? Here's my train. I turned it into a little train. And that way I have the visual of a train to remind me to train my brain. And that is spilling the tea with Dare Bear. We got to try, be willing to try. You got to spend some time on it. Practice drawing those things, looking up those things. Get you some good tools. Get some good tools. You remember what Monty said? You can't screw with a hammer, right? Look up those teachers. I tell you, the best thing ever is somebody said, when is Jed going to do a regular doodle show? I would love that. That would be so much fun. Anyway, one more thing that I want you to do for me before you finish your doodle, after you're getting your teachers and your train, I want you to put a hashtag on it, because a hashtag on your sketch note is a very important thing. We're going to put Jed, Jed, teaches. That way, when you share it out in the world, if you will use that hashtag, I can find it easily. And Todd, is there a hashtag for the SCEA? You might want to put, I don't know what your hashtag is, but
the SCEA strong. The SCEA strong.
The SCEA strong. We're going to put that on there so that when you share it out in the world, you'll use both those hashtags, and that way we can connect. But before you share it, you may want to color it, or you may want to just look at that. I love it just the way it is. It's a little work of art. And it was doodling, and it was words, and it put all of that information in the brain. We spilled the tea with Derryberry. We had doodle with Derryberry, try, time, things, tools, teachers, and train. They're all running around in my brain tonight. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
That was amazing, Jed. A lot of positive comments and just a lot of fun. And what I like is, you know, you would mention how I was teaching mindfulness. I teach mindfulness, and there's all different kinds of ways to get into that flow state. You know, whether it's playing a musical instrument or doodling like this, or you know, meditation. There's all kinds of ways to get in that flow state, and it's so important for teachers. I think especially they get done with the day, they come home, and you know, they need this time to kind of just disconnect from the work. Otherwise, they just spend a lot of the evening ruminating about what happened during the day and ruminating about what's going to happen tomorrow. And this is an activity you can do that's just a part of self-care to really kind of reset your brain.
Let me tell you, Todd, something that I do. Sometimes I do it before a lesson, or sometimes I do it after. It depends on where the state of my brain. I'm looking for a good one in my journal here. I like to do, I call it map-a-doodle. And it is where I make a map using doodles of what I taught or what I will teach. So sometimes it's my lesson plan that I literally doodle what I want to teach. I can, you know, of course, this journal started in May. So, oh, right here's one. Here's one. This was a lesson plan that I did before a speaking event that I did. I wanted to make sure that I talked about the creativity challenge, bravery badges. I did this thing called destroy the box with a ruler. We made storyboards about ourselves using this this little black India ink. I'll show you what that was. This one of these. I doodled that. I doodled the keywords that I wanted to mention: advocate, flexible process, integrated, self-paced, growth, and thinking. And that was what I literally doodled my way through it. And you can see all of this that you're looking at. Those are where I doodled my thinking for a class. Also, I know I got one right here because I just started my classes. Where is it? I doodled what I did in my first class so I would remember. I teach college courses, and for my arts integration class, yeah, it's not it's not a lot. You see, I still have to doodle my children's lit class. I got to go back and do that. But this is everything that I talked about in my first arts integration class. That was my lesson plan. And I did that after class so I would remember and you know what was very, very, is a decompression. It was very reflective. Doodling can be very reflective. So I don't know. Y'all try that and see. I call it map-a-doodle. I don't know why. This is something I made up.
Yeah. Well, so much fun tonight, Jed. I'm hoping that we can get you back sometime soon. I know you're busy and have a lot going on. For those who are watching, and if you're at a school, if you're an administrator, or if you can speak to an administrator, you want Jed to come and present at your school. He does such a remarkable job. You can go to MrDairyberry.com, and that's in the comments. I posted your website in the comments, MrDairyberry.com. How do they email you?
Well, it's just Mr. Dairyberry at Hotmail or Mr. Dairyberry at Gmail. You can also find me on social media at Mr. Dairyberry on Instagram, at Mr. Dairyberry on Twitter. You just got to figure out how to spell it, which I tell people to say it, dairy like a cow, berry like a fruit, but that's not how you spell it. So, but if you Google Jed Dairyberry-ish, you'll find all of the ways to get in touch with me. There you go, Dairyberry. That's how you spell it. On my website, Todd, there is a list of like all the different workshops that I do. And most people have been in the last, I don't know, year, they select the Dairyberry of a day option. And that's where I come into a full day of PD, and we do a little buffet of all the different things that I have on my website. It is meaningful, relevant, and fun, and is hands-on and engaging, usually focused around the work of the playful classroom. But I also have some very serious PDs that I can do on the courageous classroom, which is about trauma and how it affects our students, but also how it affects us as teachers.
Yeah.
And just as much as our students need guidance classes, we as teachers need therapy. We need some help. And I hope that more districts will start realizing that and get some mental health care for their teachers. I know some districts have started doing like they have a clinic in the district for staff. I hope they start having therapists and counselors equally accessible, because the work we do is hard, and we deal with lots of trauma of students, but we also are carrying our own trauma each and every day from our past and sometimes even our present. I can talk about that, and book number 3 is coming out in a little bit. So
don't hesitate. Reach out to them. Your staff will be so. It's engaging, it's entertaining, and it is absolutely empowering. And there's so much good information that he shares. Just really highly encourage that, and also encourage you to be on the lookout for his new book coming out called The Playful Life: The Power of Play in Our Everyday. That's coming out next month. Can they find that like on Amazon, where they're going to be able to find it pretty much anywhere?
And I will tell you, there actually is a special right now today. If you pre-order it, I think at Barnes and Noble. It's on my I put it on my Instagram story. I can't remember. If Barnes and Noble, they're offering 25% off if you pre-order today or this week. Let me go look at my story. It is 25% off. Yes, at Barnes and Noble.
Awesome.
Between now and 3. Oh, there's a coupon code. Use the word pre-order 25. And you can get 25% off at Barnes and Noble.
Awesome. All right, Jed. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know it's just amazing. Every time I see you speak, I've never seen this session, and it's always just, there's something about it. I don't know if it's like, just, it makes you feel good watching you do your work. It makes you feel good. And it's such a powerful way to bridge that sort of analytical part of our side of our brain, the artistic side. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
All right. Hang on. I'll be right back. That's Jed Dairyberry, everybody. Just an amazing presenter. Please go to MrDairyberry.com. We put that in the comments. You can go to MrDairyberry.com to learn more about his work and connect with him. I'd like to remind you that you can go to our website. This webinar, along with all of our webinars, will be available at cool.us, at cewl.us. We'd love to connect with you. If you're not already a member, we'd love to just connect with you at the scea.org/connect. Just remind everybody, we've got voting coming up November 8th. Make sure you're registered to vote, and go to the scea.org/votes to learn more about how you can register and who we're endorsing. A candidate like Lisa Ellis for South Carolina Superintendent of Education. Coming up, and I'll just put her little thing up here. Let me pull this part down. So, and you can learn more about Lisa's campaign at lisa4sc.com. You can follow her on social media at lisa4sc. And coming up tomorrow, speaking of Barnes & Noble, I will be at the Barnes & Noble in Market Common tomorrow from 4:30 to 5:30. And I will be co-hosting the Movement podcast with Emily Gossett. She is an educator here in Horry County. And we're going to be having just a really cool conversation, recording it live. And every public school employee who comes out to Barnes & Noble in Market Common tomorrow will receive a $5 Barnes & Noble gift card and a free beverage of your choice. So come on out. And I don't know if you know this, but Barnes & Noble does have the 25% educator discount cards that you can get, so that you can get that 25% off your books. And then you'll have a $5 gift card and a free beverage. So just come on out, bring your ID, make sure you can identify yourself as a public school employee, and we will be recording that podcast live, a new thing we're going to be experimenting with this year. I want to thank everybody who is watching. Colleen O'Connell saying join the SCEA.org. Definitely would love to have you as a part of our movement. This movement is about a lot of things. It's about your wellness. It's about learning and growing and equipping yourself with the tools and resources you need to be effective as an educator. It's about supporting bus drivers and cafeteria workers, custodial staff. And ultimately, it's about supporting what our students need, because we know that our educators' teaching conditions are our students' learning conditions. And it's essential that we support our educators in every way possible. And we're proud to do that at the SCEA, proud to endorse Lisa Ellis, proud to endorse Joe Cunningham, proud to take stances on issues that matter. And you need an association that's going to stand up for your values. And again, thank you to Colleen, to let's see who else was watching tonight. Nat was watching, Cynthia, Amy, Sydney, Peter, so many people watching tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow, hopefully, at Market Common. And I wish you guys nothing but the best for the rest of your week. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And thanks again to our guest tonight, Jed Derryberry, for his wonderful presentation. And y'all take care.